हेलो एवरीवन। सो अभी हम स्टार्ट करते हैं MCS ये 207। ठीक है, MCS 207 का ब्लॉक 1, ब्लॉक 2, ब्लॉक 3 में जो जो यूनिट है वो सारे को एक क्विक रिवीजन करते हैं। ठीक है, ज़्यादा डीप में नहीं पढ़ेंगे, थोड़ा थोड़ा पॉइंट्स पढ़ लेंगे। सो सबसे पहले ये है यूनिट 1 में डेटाबेस मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम एंड इंट्रोडक्शन, जिसमें नीड फॉर डेटाबेस मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम, द फाइल बेस्ड सिस्टम, limitation of file-based system, the database approach, logical DBMS architecture, 3-level architecture of DBMS mapping between ये physical DBMS में क्या है, DML, DCL, फाइल मैनेजमेंट, डाटाबेस मैनेजर, क्वेरी प्रोसेसर, डेटाबेस, ये सारा है। ठीक है, तो देखते हैं डेटाबेस मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम इंट्रोडक्शन। In today's world, almost every online involves a database, like buying items from Amazon, ठीक है, फ्लिपकार्ट, स्टोर प्रोडक्ट इन्फो, कस्टमर एड्रेस, ऑर्डर वगैरह वगैरह। बैंकिंग में अगर बात करें तो अकाउंट बैलेंस, ट्रांजेक्शन्स एंड टिकट बुकिंग में भी ट्रेन, फ्लाइट, होटल के स्टोर, सीट्स, रूम अवेलेबिलिटी, ये सारा है। These are called traditional database application because they mostly store text and number. Real life example: imagine a supermarket ad billing. The computer scans an item. The database shows its price, discount, and stock. After payment, stock gets updated and your bill details are stored. Without a database, all this would be done on paper, slow and confusing. Databases are used in shopping, banking, book tickets, and app. Traditional database stores text and numbers. New models for multimedia. This unit converts DBMS architecture. Objective: file-based system limitation. Structure of DBMS. Functions of database administration. 3-tier architecture or different database models. Understand how data was stored in old system. Structure में learn how database organized. Know the role of person who manage database. Understand 3-level DBMS: internal, conceptual, external. ठीक है, need of database. A database is an organized collection of data like student record, bank details, customer orders and all. Database management system helps this data efficiently. फाइल बेस्ड सिस्टम का अगर बात करें तो फाइल बेस्ड सिस्टम are designed as electronic version of physical files. Employee in office, you may keep separate files for each. Database organized, persist collection of data. Before DBMS, people used to file-based system, electronic versions of physical files. Files works fine for simple storage. Limitation of file-based system, ये important लग रहा है. File-based system needs many files to run application. These contains duplicate or repeated data which cause many problems. Data isolation. Data is stored in separate file for different application. These files cannot be easily shared or combined. If there are too many files, including the right data becomes very difficult. Example: student details are in one file, course details in another. If application needs both, it's hard to combine them. Data duplication. Same data may store multiple files. This wastes storage and cause a problem if the file is updated but the other is not. Inconsistent data. When data is changed one file but not another file, information become inconsistent. Wrong data entry can cause inconsistency. Data dependence. In file system, the structure of data is tied to the application program. Incompatible file format. Different programming language create different file format. Yes. Fixed queries. Queries depend on application program. Maintenance issue. File-based systems require many applications, making them hard to maintain. In simple words, file-based systems have many problems like duplicate data, inconsistent data, difficulty sharing, dependence in knowledge structure, and these. The database approach. In the previous section, we saw file system has many weaknesses. Characteristics of database approach: centralized and distributed storage. Data can be stored in a one central database or across multiple different located in different places, managed by DBMS. DBMS control how data is stored, accessed, and updated. Metadata. The metadata sorry okay the database also stores information about the structure of data. Integration of data or organized data brought together can be shared among different applications. Basic operations: create a database structure, insert, edit, update, enforce rules and security, give access to the authorized user. देखते हैं रियल लाइफ एग्जांपल यूनिवर्सिटी का डेटा देख लेते हैं. इंस्टेड ऑफ हैविंग सेपरेट फाइल फीस कोर्स एवरीथिंग स्टोर्ड इन द वन integrated database manage this data. ठीक है. Metadata defines rules like roll number must be unique, fees cannot be negative. Reduction of reboundaries का क्या बोल रहा है? In a file system there same data could be stored in a multiple file or different application. This caused duplication or sometimes inconsistency. In one file was updated and another not. So in a database system data is integrated and stored in a one place. Real life example university file based system. A student's address may be stored in a student details file, again in the bus faculty file. If the student change their address, only one file is updated and data become inconsistent. Okay. Database approach reduce duplication. Data sharing of data. In a database system all the data are organized in a store integrated way. However, not everyone can see everything. Only authorized users are allowed to access specific part of the data. Users get only the data when they need. So real life example university database, student can log in to see only their data, their own mark sheet and fees details, not other. A faculty member can access courses details and students marks. Account department can see the fees payment. Faculty member can see the course. Your student can see their own marks, fees details, not other students details. Okay. Data dependence. In a file based system there is a way to store data program. ठीक है. Data description are separated from program. Programs do not need to know the details of how the data is stored. This separation is called data independence. यूनिवर्सिटी डेटाबेस का एग्जांपल में क्या था? सपोज यू ऐड अ न्यू फील्ड ईमेल एड्रेस to the student table. In a file based system every program that uses student data must be updated. In a DBMS the programs or user interfaces may remain exactly the same. Improve integrity. Data integrity means all the data is accurate, correct and consistent. Suppose an employee must age between 18 to 70. If someone try to either age 15 or 75, the database will not allow it. Integrity. Because some of the enter 55 by mistake, instead of by mistake, DBMS cannot detect it because this is a valid value according to the constraint. Efficient data access. A DBMS is designed to store and retrieve data quickly, even for unexpected or new types of queries. DBMS provides different interface depending on how tech-savvy the user is. Menu-driven formats, API, query language interface, natural interface for users who can write queries like query SQL application for program who access data through the code. फिर as per the technical knowledge. हाँ हो गया. representing relationship amongst data. Database store large amount of relation data. DBMS maintain these relationships so that related data can be accessed easily. Improved backup and recovery. File-based system rely on users backup and automatically support. If the bank server crashes, the DBMS can restore account information from the last backup without losing data. Custom support for concurrent transactions. A transaction is a single operation that must be completed fully or not at all. DBMS allow multiple transactions at the same time without interfering there with each other. Example जैसे in a bank multiple customer can withdraw and transfer money at the same time. DBMS stores that each transaction is processed correctly and independently. In short, modern DBMS ensure fast access, user-friendly interface, maintain relationship, strong security, backup, recovery, safe handling. The logical DBMS architecture. The logical DBMS architecture. The DBMS is complex software that stores, manages, and controls a very large amount of data. Relatively to understand how it works, DBMS is described using different architecture: logical architecture, physical. Okay, how data is organized and accessed in different logical levels. How database software components work internally, covering another section. Three-level database architecture. The three-level database standardized by ANSI. It defines three levels of data abstraction for different users, like external view level. It provides user specific view of data users see only when they are allowed to see, hides overall data structure from the user. Example, a student see only their own grade and fees. A faculty member sees student marks and course info but not fees detail. Conceptual level. Define structure, relationship and constraints of the data in the database. Use DDL to define schemas managed by DBA. Student level structure: name, roll number, course, age. Relationship: students are linked in course they enrolled in. Internal. So external conceptual. एक्सटर्नल में क्या था? फॉर द व्यू लेवल कॉन्सेप्चुअल DDL से रिलेटेड, और इंटरनल मतलब फिजिकल लेवल contains the actual data files, metadata. DBMS control storage, update, performance and security, can include multiple files. Physical storage: students record on disk, indexes. Data dependencies: mapping between levels. Data independence: mapping between levels. Conceptual: external mapping. Logical: data independence. External view is derived from the conceptual view. Conception. Internal mapping. Physical data independence. Objective of three levels: support different views of different users see only relevant data. Data and program independence. Or okay, three level database architecture with real life example. External view level shows the customized view data for user. Universal student can see it. Okay, ठीक है. Conception: what does it do? What it does: define a structure, relationship and rules. Internal: actual data on storage, metadata. Stores actual data and storage, metadata about data and access structure efficient. What users see: like a customized database. The database blueprint, like a building plan. Actual bricks, doors and wires. Physical database architecture. complex software that manage things, query, data integrity, file access and performance backup. DML pre-compiler, फिजिकल DBMS आर्किटेक्चर के बारे हैं यहाँ पे. DML pre-compiler convert data. DML commands like insert, update, delete to return an application program into calls the DBMS can execute. Example, a student application uses a query to fetch marks. DML pre-compiler translate it to DBMS can retrieve the correct records. DML, ठीक है. डेटा मैनिपुलेशन लैंग्वेज, इंसर्ट, अपडेट, इंसर्ट करना, अपडेट करना, डिलीट करना, फैच करना. DDL कंपाइलर पर्पस डेटा डेफिनेशन लैंग्वेज. DDL कमांड्स डिफाइन डेटाबेस structure, constraint and access rule. Stores metadata information about table relationship. ठीक है. Example, creating a student table with fields roll number, name, age, constant. ये हो जाएगा. फाइल मैनेजर. DDL हो गया कि क्रिएटिंग अ स्टूडेंट टेबल, और DML इंसर्ट, अपडेट, डिलीट एंड फैच. फाइल मैनेजर में क्या बोल रहा है? मैनेजेस फिजिकल स्टोरेज ऑफ डेटा. डेटा फाइल्स में डेटा फाइल्स इंडेक्सेस. वर्क्स विद द OS टू रीड राइट फाइल्स efficiently. वन मोर. नो. फिजिकल स्टोरेज हो गया. एग्जाम्पल, डेटाबेस मैनेजर. Database manager is like the heart of the DBMS, handles data across requests, enforces integrity, process requires from the users and application, and ensure only correct and valid data, backup and recovery, ensure security, restricts access to authorized user, concurrency control, allow multiple users to access. Components of database manager: authorization control, command processor, integrity checker, query optimizer, transition manager, scheduler, recovery manager, buffer manager. Real life example will see it later. फर्स्ट ये देख लेते हैं. component of database manager. Check if the user's permission to access. Convert the DML programming command. Verifies data flows all constants before storing. Makes queries run faster. Check permission and manages database transaction. Order concurrent transaction to maintain consistency. Real life example, putting together DML student app fetches grades. DDL table of student keeps students data and indexes stored in a desk. File manager का काम है. Database manager ensure only authorized user can see their grades. Enforces rule is greater than equal to 18. ठीक है. In short, physical database architecture consists of multiple software components that works together to manage, protect and efficiently access the data storage in a database. ठीक है. अब क्वेरी प्रोसेसर. एवरी DBMS हैज अ क्वेरी लैंग्वेज लाइक SQL. ठीक है. क्रिएट, अपडेट, और पार्सर चेक्स इफ सिंटैक्स क्वेरी कन्वर्ट इनटू द सीक्वेंस. Example, searching for a book by author name. Parser checks if the SQL query is correct. Database administrator. DBA manages and control everything related to the database. Creation, modification, access, recovery and performance. Function of DBA defines database schemas at different levels: external, conceptual, internal. Data files, indicates and data files show the actual data, usually not accessed directly by users. Data dictionary stores metadata, provides roadmap for users. Database management system architecture. Database system can be built in different architecture depending on how database is stored and accessed. Centralized database system, types of interface. The database stored in a single machine which can be used by one user or shared by multiple users. The database stored on a single machine. ठीक है, कंसेप्शन हो गया. टाइप्स ऑफ इंटरफेसेस, कमांड लाइन, CLI, यूजर, हाँ CLI में करते हैं, DDL, DML एंड अदर कमांड्स आ जाता है. ग्राफिकल मेन्यू ड्राइवन टाइप्स ऑफ इंटरफेस, CLI और GUI. यूटिलिटीज ऑफ DBMS, बैकअप रूल, यूटिलिटीज, लोड अनलोड है, कुछ रिपोर्टिंग है, कुछ कुछ स्किप कर रहे हैं जो हमको लगता है इम्पोर्टेंट है वो. Data model and trends. A database model is a way to organize and structure data so that it can easily accessed and updated and managed. Logical structure of data, relationship, constants. Data models and trends, logical structure of data, relationship and constants. Conceptual model defines focus on entry, their attribute and relationship. Hierarchical model organize data in tree structure. Record based and logical models, data stores as record and relationship as represented as link. Object based model stores data objects similar to object oriented programming. Semi structured model uses user defined tags instead of strict table structure. Graph based model use nodes and edge. एक बार यहाँ पर रिवीजन कर लेते हैं. ओके, conceptual, entities and relationship, hierarchical, tree structure, network, record, link and relationship, object oriented, object and data operations, flexible, text, graph based. यूनिट 1 हो गया. यूनिट 2 देखते हैं इसमें क्या क्या है.